welcome to the Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, how dare you, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Sensual Goat, One Deck, Neil, Click OK, Arthur, and a whole bunch of people in the Flat Earth Debate Discord server. So, welcome one and all.
Let's get it on!
Hello.
6-7.
Hello.
6-7. If I have to hear my kid saying that one more time. Although I do find it very amusing when a bus goes by and she's like, is that bus deliberately trying to get me to say the meme? I'm like, no, it's just the number 67 bus, Eleanor. She's like, 6-7.
I think it's endearing.
It's very endearing, I won't lie. It's funny. Now I know the origins. I think it was you that shared that with me. Was it you that sent me the link to the video that explained about some basketball player who was 6'7"?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it literally just means 6'7". Whenever that phraseology or numerology or however you pronounce the phrasing of using the words or numbers in that way, 6 and then 7 afterwards, it comes out 6'7", like saying, well, that guy's 6'7", meaning 6 foot 7 inches. So you'd say 6'7". But when you've got some wispy-haired blonde kid in the stalls going 6'7", suddenly it becomes a meme.
I'm going to start saying 3959.
What, the price of my book? I don't know if that's going to be the case, but we'll see. So in the pre-show, for the audience's benefit, what we were discussing was the begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator. And if you listen to the title, it's been given by me specifically. The first bit of the title, begging the question. What does that mean? Well, to beg the question is circular reasoning, to assume one's outcome in the first premise that you lay forth. That's to say, if you suggest Earth's a sphere in your first statement, you're assuming the very thing you're trying to prove. Now, in the Earth curve calculator, can you imagine how the outcome's going to be when you use such a tool? Well, the outcome's going to be Earth curve. So therefore, when we hear flat earthers say, we see too far, the notion of seeing too far is based on the distance ascribed to a distant object in the begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator. So there's an example that Surf Daddy suggested I use, and I will use it now, we're live, about two people looking into the distance at a clock. Now, this was based on a real circumstance where exactly this occurred, with Ranty Flat Earth being the observer. There just wasn't a second person observing with him. Excuse me. So the Flat Earther looks into the distance and goes, can you see that clock? And the globe proponent next to him says, no, you're not actually seeing a clock. What you're seeing is a slightly looming non-standard refraction holographic projection of a clock from behind the physical reified geometric sphere edge horizon below the surface level we measure flat. Therefore, you're not actually seeing a clock at all. What you are seeing is a mirage. And the Flat Earther looks back at him and goes, I just see a clock. In other words, what we see is governed by our eyeballs, or a zoom lens camera, or a telescope, or any optical device that will allow you to see things in the distance. And its limitations are calculable with the Rayleigh criterion. Not that you as a flat earther would ever need to know that, because you shouldn't be making positive claims. The person that does make positive claims about a physical geometric sphere edge horizon below the measured flat surface level are globe believers. But we've been trained over the last how many years to say we see too far. Now, saying we see too far encourages our opponents to say, well, let's check if it's too far or not. And the thing that they'll check it with is a calculator that automatically assumes the outcome. So no matter what value you put into the begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator, the outcome is Earth curve. Doesn't matter what value you put in, it'll always say there's Earth curve. That's why I get so frustrated with Jin when he joins the panel. Because he's saying, well, it's worked for me for 10 years, saying we see too far. Well, no. Saying we see too far only puts you in a position where your opponent can test your claim based on their presupposition that Earth curve is calculable with flat Earth measurements, flat Earth heights off surface level, flat Earth parallel eye level, sea level, horizontal distance measurements, all flat Earth prerequisites that need to be punched into the begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator to say whether or not we see too far, because the calculator is suggesting it can govern what is visible and what is too far. Now, based on the argument being played to its fullest extent 8 years ago, with Anthony Riley at the helm, taking images of the Isle of Man from St. Bees, it wouldn't matter if you were on your belly 1 inch off the sea level, 30 miles horizontal distance measurement away from the Isle of Man. With enough refraction and a long enough zoom lens, you can see the back of your own head, based on Earth curve mathematics. Now, that's not me suggesting that. That was the rebuttal when Anthony Riley was on his belly at St. Bees, filming the Isle of Man at 30-mile distance, and seeing all of it. Well, with enough refraction, you can see your own arse, is the inference if you use a begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator and input flat Earth horizontal distance measurements, perpendicular height off surface level measurements, and assume that you've got a parallel eye level to calculate the dip angle to a geometric horizon below the surface level in their own maths. At minimum, there's 3 flat Earth prerequisites that must be adhered to in measurement terms to beg the question that you've got a sphere edge below the surface level. We've got surface level. We've got eye level. We've got perpendicularity for height. We've got distance, horizontal and linear, measured, utilised from things like Google Earth with its horizontal profile measurements of a flat surface comparatively to every other flat surface with an average taken from sea level. That's how you get your heights in your topographical description of an Earth that's been measured flat. So you can have a distance to punch into the begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator and get, shockingly, Earth curve as the outcome every single time. Hence my frustration when people say we see too far. We don't see too far. We just see a clock in the distance. It's not a slightly looming non-standard refraction holographic projection of a clock from behind the physical geometric sphere edge below the surface level when inputting our height above the surface level for a parallel eye level and flat Earth sea level and distance that's measured off a flat Earth, so we can beg the question that all of those flat Earth measurements are worthy of whistling straight past and saying that there's Earth curve. Because it will say there's Earth curve every single time. So with that in mind, we're going to be covering a videographer who has had one of our audience members, allegedly, putting forth some of the arguments, which they're not, they're just statements of fact when it comes to those flat Earth measurements that you punch into the calculation for Earth curve when assuming that we've got a curve below the surface level, and making a bit of a dog's dinner of it, let's be honest. We don't know that's the case yet, or I don't because I haven't watched this video. But I'm assured that the person who is attempting to go through our argumentation, again, I'll reiterate, it's not an argument, it's a statement of fact when it comes to the measurements. They're just not necessarily doing a great job of putting that position across to a globe Earth believer, in this case Dr. Blitz, who we have covered previously. So that's what we're going to be covering, and as is always the case when we cover such a videographer, I would hope that he would do the same for me. Please let this videographer know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment that doesn't immediately get removed by the YouTube algorithmic bots, or indeed the videographer, Dr. Blitz himself. So, as I say, there is a link to his channel and this specific video going by in the live stream chat. Flirfs versus Science. Debate Dr. Blitz, 11/7/25. And it's V, so I assume he's number 5 of his debate series. Don't know why he's ad homing us, calling us flirfs in the title, and I don't know why he's suggesting there's science involved, because there won't be. So immediately, just from the title, I'm irritated with him and his description. There's no science involved in flat Earth measurements. Curve calculations or otherwise. This isn't science. Science is the establishment of cause and effect, based on observing natural phenomena. Let's just get this dealt with so we can move on and not have my frustration spill into the coverage. If you want to claim something science, that's natural science or physics, then it's an adherence to the scientific method. The antithesis being pseudoscience. Let's define that first. What's pseudoscience? A claim of science that has not been through the scientific method. That's what pseudoscience is. In this case, a claim of science in the title of a video where there won't be any adherence to the scientific method, making the entire video, by title, pseudoscience. By definition. So let's define what science and the scientific method is. Step 1. Observe a naturally occurring phenomena. What's that mean? Something that happens in nature. So what's excluded? Concrete nouns. Things that aren't happening. So once you've observed something occur in nature, you can ask a question, I wonder what caused that? Because the whole purpose of following this method is to establish cause of a naturally occurring phenomena. Excluded are man-made or synthetic anything, because you already know the cause, a man caused it. For example, dropping one's mobile phone is synthetic. I know what caused that to happen. I caused it to happen when I dropped it. Naturally occurring phenomena is what exclusively is dealt with by the scientific method. So step 1, observe a naturally occurring phenomena. Step 2, suppose a cause of the effect. Your supposed cause is called an independent variable. That is to say, that which you, the researcher, can and will vary and manipulate. It's also the independent variable in your hypothesis, which is step 2. The dependent variable is what you observed at step 1. The naturally occurring phenomena is the dependent variable. The presumed cause of the effect is your independent variable. Alongside your alternative hypothesis, that's if independent variable, then dependent variable, sits something called the null hypothesis, or zero difference result. That is to say, if you vary your independent variable, it will not cause the dependent variable, or otherwise known as naturally occurring phenomena. So you vary A, independent variable, and B, dependent variable, does not happen. Step 3. Actualize your scientific prediction, otherwise known as a hypothesis. And the actualization of a hypothesis is called an experiment. You vary and manipulate that which you assume is the cause of the effect and is written down in step 2 as the independent variable. It must be real, it must be capable of variation and manipulation by you, the researcher, and it must be your independent variable stated in the hypothesis. Once you vary and manipulate your presumed cause of the effect you observed at step 1, it will either validate the alternative, that is to say, you vary A and it does cause B, tick. Alternative hypothesis validated. It is proven. Alternatively, you vary A and it does not cause the naturally occurring phenomena to occur. You therefore tick, validate the null hypothesis. Now, it's important to stress that upon performing an experiment, that's the actualization of a hypothesis, or hypothesis test, you're not testing for the null. You're not trying to not cause the effect. You're only trying to cause the effect. That's your desired outcome. Your desired outcome is validation of the alternative hypothesis. And if you fail, you still prove something. Proof is the only possible outcome, because you can only cause the effect or not cause the effect. You cannot do both. It would be a violation of the law of non-contradiction to have A both causing B and not causing B. So only one, that's the alternative or null, can be and will be proven upon actualization of a scientific prediction, otherwise known as step 3, experiment. Once you validate the presumed cause of the effect, you then form theory, step 4. And that is it. Step 1, observe phenomena. Step 2, formulate a scientific prediction. Step 3, actualize the scientific prediction. Step 4, form theory. That is science. Anything that sits outside of that very specific and narrow description, otherwise known as the scientific method, singular, is pseudoscience if it's claimed to be science. So when you see this title saying Flurfs versus science, unless we've got the actualization of a cause and effect scientific prediction in this discussion, this is demonstrable pseudoscience by definition. That's the claim of science which has not been through the scientific method. That's what this will be. Now, this guy calls himself a doctor. He's not giving himself a name. He's not Mr. Oakley like me. My name's Nathan to my friends. That's a real name. I was given it by my parents. Dr. Blitz is a stupid, childish, schoolyard nickname that he's ascribed himself to make YouTube videos, and then give titles like Flurfs vs. Science, immediately irritating me. Why don't these people go by their real names? Is it because they're cowards and they don't actually stand by what they say? Or is it because they're scared that what they say might be proven wrong and permanently ascribed to their name? Me, I'm not in the slightest bit fearful of any word that crosses my lips whilst live. I know what I'm talking about, and I'll spit it right at the camera with my name firmly attached to it. My name is Nathan Oakley. If I say I'm doing science, the scientific method is what you'll be given. Like the description that you just had in the most concise of terms, given to you by me, with a real name attached to me and my show. Not some stupid nickname, a handle that you ascribe to yourself when talking nonsense about something that is definitely, in this case, not scientific. Anyway, with that out of the way, oh wow, got a super chat. Shout out to, can't see who it is, M. I can't see the rest of your name. Let's just see if I can make this wider. Mickey Moose Studios, thank you very much for the super chat. Nathan, here is my weekly independent variable support, wishing to encourage more of the channel friends to come up with their independent variable contribution. You're just trying to annoy me. I can just feel it. That's you're trying to wind me up. I'm very grateful for the money, though. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Do you know why that guy's doing that, though?
Why?
The guy before you were talking about. Dr. Science versus Flurfs.
It's stolen valor, so he can make himself seem more intelligent to his audience. That's why.
Yeah, so if he says Flurfs versus Globers, people will say, well, there's two sides. But they do this weasel thing because to the average sheep, when they say science, that means you can't really dispute it. This is facts. This is like 100%. That's why they do it that way.
That's a good point. I might as well round out my science jargon speak in that regard. Why would it be necessary to put the title science in a debate format? Well, it's so that you can ascribe proof, because that's what the scientific method affords you. When I said tick, you prove the alternative, or tick, you prove the null, that's the only possible outcome when utilising the scientific method. Proof is the only outcome at the end of the process. So why do they say science when it's not? Often it's a just so story. It's because in the mind's eye of people who learnt what the scientific method was at school, they've got a vague memory that it proves things. So when you see the word, you think, oh, well, that must mean it's proven. Often not the case. Often nothing to do with science. Almost certainly a hijacking of the terminology as a magic word so that you, an audience member watching this guy with his nickname, prove things because it's got the word science next to it. No, it just makes him a pseudo-science practitioner because he's not going to be adhering to the scientific method. But wants the valor, he's stealing it. The valor of science and the scientific method proving things. He wants you, the audience member, to believe he's proving things, so he'll put the word science in his title. That's why people do it. That was a long preamble. Anybody got anything they want to add in terms of commentary before I start playing this video?
Just quickly, if I could, yeah. Hello, everybody. Sorry I was late to arrive. But, yeah, you know, when you're talking about the name, like you said, Stolen Valor, there was a guy called Red Cloud, okay, who used to go on these servers from England, yeah? He used to annoy me because he's a Glober and he's taken a good man's name, Red Cloud, a man of honor from the Native Americans, yeah? And it made the conversation very heated because I was annoyed that he was taking a good man's name and then lying all the time whenever he would have his discussions. And I hunted him down. He no longer comes to the server anymore. All right, because I didn't like the way he took a good man's name. And then he tried to come in under another name, and I actually called him out again. Okay, so I know what you mean when you get annoyed. Stolen Valor, right? And not coming with you. My name is Jin. Your name is Nathan. Everybody knows me. People know you, right? Everybody knows you. That's it. That's my real name. I don't pretend. And you can see my avatar. That's me. Finish. So I get what you say when you're upset. And the last thing is quickly going back to we see too far. Yes, I agree with you that we don't see too far, but then people do say, and I do say that we are seeing further than the curvature would allow, if the curvature were to be there, if the Earth were to be a globe. That's what I do say. But anyway, we carry on with that. Sorry to have interrupted there. Thank you very much.
Well, fortunately for you, Jim, we're doing something else today. Otherwise, you'd be getting both barrels right about now. You won't, because we're covering this. Now, I encourage you guys on the panel to actually respond to this in the pre-show. I will try my damnedest to hold my tongue. We'll see how I get on.
How do you think the calculation to determine how far away the horizon appears to be is done?
Which horizon?
Anybody?
Exactly. I mean, the guy's already sort of saying a calculation to a horizon. Now, for one, if you want to just stick to the 1 point, the horizon has never been defined as a physical location. Therefore, you will never be able to obtain an actual measurement to the horizon. It's just an apparent location where the sky and the Earth appear to meet.
And the measurements that you'll punch into that calculation are flat Earth prerequisite horizontal distance measurements and perpendicular height off surface level measurements.
Okay, which horizon?
The thing that you see where the sky meets the ground.
Okay, so we're not talking about.
That's incorrect. Anybody? The sky does not meet the ground.
Well, where it appears to. So yeah. Where the sky and the ground appear to meet the ground.
Yeah. Just for this clown, the sky never meets the ground, ever, in any circumstances. The horizon is the apparent location where the sky, redundant now, I've said it once, but where the sky appears to meet the ground. Yeah? Saying it's where the sky meets the ground. No, it doesn't. The sky does not meet the ground.
It's an actual optical illusion. That's what I always say. Thank you.
The diffraction limit. Not that we need to go into that. It's not our claim. So as much as... This is kind of frustrating because the temptation is to start correcting them about what forms the horizon. But me telling you that a diffraction limit will form a limitation to your view and you can calculate it with the Rayleigh criterion isn't necessary. I'm not utilising the horizon or perspective to claim a flat Earth. Now, if somebody describes perspective and need to measure anything to do with what we see in reality, it ipso facto will require you measure Earth flat. Like cats found out, right? Conspiracy cats, now culture cats. I'll give you a flat Earth for that. Perspective, end quote. Culture cats, formerly conspiracy cats. Why? Because it's the only way you can measure the angular limitation. So you will require a flat Earth to do so, as Culture Cats found out. He shortly after gave his channel up to some numpty who went to Antarctica called Toon. Nevertheless, Culture Cats found out to his detriment, you're going to need a flat Earth for that. So what did he do? Well, he'll give you a flat Earth for that perspective. But only upon utilising it from the opponent's perspective would I find the necessity to point out how flat Earth will and must be measured. I'll give you a flat Earth for that, is what our opponents would have to do. I'm not using it. I don't need the horizon.
Earth curve then?
How do you think that calculation is done?
Hold on, no. When we say the horizon, we're not talking about.
Well, I mean, he's right. He is right there. And we spoke about this in the pre-show. It's not called the Earth curve calculator for nothing. It is exactly that. It's a calculation of curvature, not a measurement of curvature. The actual measurement that's used to calculate the curve, is measured from surface level and line of sight parallel to each other, and a depression angle. Nothing to do with curvature measurement. Curvature is calculated using the calculator after the measurement.
Yeah, the measurements are flat. The calculation suggests that you've got a sphere edge that's physical below surface level with a depression angle from a parallel eye level. Parallel with what? The surface level. Well, you're measuring the surface level. You will be for the distance that you punch in, and you will be for the perpendicular height measurement off it. So yeah, you'll be measuring Earth flat and punching in values into a calculation that assumes you've got a horizon that's physical below the surface level.
It is safe. Hang on a second. So it is safe to say, ladies and gentlemen, that the Earth's curvature has never, ever been measured. Thank you.
No, it's only ever calculated. It only exists in the maths.
Can you answer my question, please?
You say how, what?
Can you answer my question, please?
What's your question?
How do you think that calculation is done to figure out?
With flat Earth measurements. Like horizontal distance measurements, like perpendicular height off surface level measurements, like parallel eye level measurements. That's what you'll use, a depression angle, to a point below an orthographic representation of a geometric physical sphere edge marked with an X and labelled horizon in a calculation that shows you the side of your own head. That's how it's calculated.
It's funny. It's funny though, when it is the Glober, and he's asking the flat earther, how is this calculation of the distance to the? I mean, he should know all this, exactly how it's measured, and the distance to the non-physical horizon. Why isn't he telling us all about this measurement?
But to Blitz's credit, this is where he wins. Now, I learnt this, as I said in the pre-show and at the beginning of this live show, 8 years ago. Something wasn't quite right. Something stunk. Every time we used the Earth curve calculator, we lost. Well, how is that the case? How is it that every single time we punch a value into something that's measuring, it isn't, Earth curve, it gives you an Earth curve outcome? Oh, shocking. Yeah, because it's an Earth curve calculator, every outcome. So when this guy says, well, how does the Earth curve calculator function? He's duped his opponent into begging the question that we've got a sphere edge for a horizon and we'll calculate where it should be based on an orthographic representation that uses flat Earth measurements. So if he can dupe his opponent into answering this question, he's won by default automatically. Not won as in he'll prove that there's an Earth curve, because Earth's measured flat for the calculation. It proves Earth's measured flat. And if you want to deny that you've got flat Earth measurements to punch into the calculation, you've got nothing to punch into the calculation anymore if you deny the flat Earth measurements. What, you don't like horizontal distance measurement and perpendicular height off surface level? Then don't use them. Are you like using them to suggest you can calculate where an Earth curve will be in an orthographic calculation? Well, then you're measuring Earth flat. It's called the rock and the hard place. But if your opponent, in this case the flatty, doesn't know that, what have you got? You've just got the begging the question aspect of Earth curve calculations being discussed. Automatic perceived win to the audience.
Figure out the distance to the horizon. Like
That would be a flat Earth distance. Flat, horizontal, and linear. All distances are measured flat. So the second you start talking about distance, you've lost, ponytail.
You know, from your
horizontal. Yeah, that's what distance measurements are. So you're measuring Earth flat. You're not disclaiming how flat you'll need Earth to be to measure the distance. You're just asking the opponent how he'll calculate Earth curve with a flat Earth distance measurement that you're whistling straight past.
eyeballs.
How is it done? We
That was wrong. Incorrect. He said done with your eyeballs. No, you obviously don't know your own calculation very well. Go and look at the begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator. It does not give you a perspective view. It's an orthographic view. We call it Muppet vision. Why? Because like a man holding a puppet, you can see the side of your own head. That's how orthographic view for calculations of sphericity work. It's not a perspective view. It's got nothing to do with what your eyeballs present. Go ahead, Wandek.
The only thing to do with eyeballs is the line of sight parallel above surface level within the Earth curve calculator. That's the only place you'll see an eyeball.
Shout out to Chow Yun Cat for the super chat. For God, who said, "Let light shine out of darkness." Made his light, I think that's a typo, made his light shine in our hearts to give us the light of the knowledge of God's glory displayed in the face of Christ. 2 Corinthians 4:6. Thank you very much for the super chat, Chow Yun Cat. Really appreciate the support.
We establish level, right? And we measuring we measuring the height of the observer and how far the horizon will be.
Yeah. So
based on that.
Look.
Look, Blitz, he hasn't finished his frigging sentence and you're talking straight through him. You didn't disagree with him when he said we measure the surface level, though, I noticed. Yeah? You started to comprehend what was going on and how badly it would make you lose, and then you started to interrupt him. Very rude. Meanwhile, measured surface level. That's correct.
Okay.
Do you understand that there's a formula that tells you if you are 4 feet tall,
then you've measured a flat surface level perpendicular to a plane of reference to give you a 4 feet height. That's altitude or elevation measurement. That's a flat Earth prerequisite. You don't have perpendicular or surface level on a ball. You've only got in and out if you believe the world is a sphere based on flat Earth measurements. In this case, perpendicular, height off surface level. 4 feet of it. Yeah, you'll need perpendicularity in a flat plane of reference to be perpendicular to give you your 4 feet measurement. You're measuring flat Earth and then asking where the curve of the surface is. That's idiotic, Dr. Blitz. Like, really stupid.
The other thing, Nathan, but obviously we're just talking about the Earth curve hashtag calculator, and the guy was mentioning surface level, and he was bringing the height of eye above that line of sight parallel to it, or he was trying to get to that point. And now he's just cut him off and said, oh, you do something about a formula now that's used, which is what he was talking about in the first place anyway.
We love our short
And
kings
also
here.
he said the formula will tell you something. Do formulas have lips?
No, that's anthropomorphization.
Nay.
Tall, then the horizon is X miles away. Do you understand?
X miles is a flat Earth horizontal linear distance that you'll ascribe. Like, have you never used a map? Have you never seen what a scale looks like with miles on it? Do the miles curve? No, they don't. They're flat. They're horizontal. They're linear in terms of their description and measurement. When you ascribe miles to anything in this fashion, you will require Earth be a flat horizontal plane of reference. That's how distance is ascribed. You can't do it any other way. You don't have curve miles. You don't have curve kilometres. You require this flat Earth prerequisite to make your argument, Dr. Blitz. You stupid nickname-using ponytailed idiot.
Also, Dr. Blitz, can you just bring up a citation of, or definition, sorry, of the horizon being defined as a physical location with a distance of linear miles to it, please? Because it's never been defined as that. So there is no distance to it. It can't be. It's not physical. What don't you understand about this?
Just to clarify that, no, the horizon's not a physical location. You're absolutely spot on in that regard. What it is the apparent position where the sky meets the ground.
Understand that there's a formula that gives you that from the input gives you an output.
Yeah.
And what would the input be, Dr. Blitz? You're going to need a flat Earth for the inputs. The values that you ascribe into that mathematical formula are flat Earth prerequisites and flat Earth measurements. Like perpendicular, like 4 feet off surface level. That's a flat Earth measurement. For vertical.
He denies that.
You've interrupted me and then you've gone silent, Neil.
I said he denies that.
What, denies perpendicular? Oh, well, we're going to see some axiomatic denial, are we? Fantastic. Can't wait.
Okay.
But those are flat Earth measurements.
Are they? So how does that calculation work? Are you?
Wait, did you not hear him? Are they? Yeah, they are. Yeah, you're talking about horizontal distance measurements, linear, flat, horizontal distance, and perpendicular, height off surface level. Like when he ascribed the word level to it and you didn't disagree, you jumped in a few seconds later while he was still talking, rather than disagreeing with how level the surface will be. It is. It's the only way you can ascribe these values. And again, if you want to deny them, you can. But then what are you going to put into this calculation to believe in a sphere edge below the surface level? You don't like the surface level. It's right there in your maths labelled surface level. So if you don't use it, you can't calculate where your belief in a physical edge lies in an orthographic Muppet view, where you see your own side of your own head.
Also, Nathan, the flat earther was just saying, I don't know his name, so he was just explaining how it's a flat earth measurement is correct. And then his response was, how do you get that calculation? He just telling me it was a measurement. Now he's asking me how he got the calculation. There's measurements and calculations are not the same thing, are they?
No. He wants to whistle straight past the flat earth measurements because he's going to need to use them in the calculation. So he can't decry them, yeah, what we call the hard place. Because if you deny that they're flat earth measurements, you go, no. I'm not using a flat surface level. Really? What's this surface level in your earth curve maths then? You don't want to use that anymore, then your maths fail. You don't like that there's a parallel eye level with surface level. Again, it's labelled in your maths parallel with the surface level. What's that? You don't like perpendicular height off surface level? Well, then don't input it into your stupid maths then. Well, you don't like a horizontal distance measurement ascribable and values being punched into your maths with that value. You don't like that, then don't use them. That would be the flat earth measurements you require to believe you're on a ball. You don't have to use those flat earth measurements, but then you've got no measurements to use in your stupid calculation that puts a sphere edge below the surface level that you measured flat. You don't have to measure it flat, you just don't have any calculations anymore. But what you need to do, Dr. Blitz, is simultaneously use flat earth measurements and whistle straight past them. Don't you? Yeah? Yeah, it's a fun game now. We're pointing out how Earth must be measured flat for you to believe in a ball. Because without them, you've got nothing. With them, you've got a flat Earth measurement and me telling you, well, you've measured Earth flat. Without them, you don't have any Earth curve calculations to believe in. With them, Earth's measured flat. Without them, you've got nothing.
He's just horsing around at this point.
Right, because he looks like a horse.
I didn't say that.
He looks like a horse.
Nay.
You familiar with how it works?
Okay. For your height, right? The observer height, right? Let's say 6 feet. 6 feet in respect
That'll be a
to
height
We love our
off surface level, will it? Or,
Yes,
yeah?
That's correct. Perpendicular to a plane of reference.
in respect to what?
With
6
respect
feet
to your,
in respect to what?
with respect to your ground or to the ground.
But surface level, like labelled in the maths, not just the ground. In your maths, it doesn't say ground. It says surface level in the earth curve maths. It's required for you to believe you're calculating, not measuring, a physical geometric sphere edge for a horizon, where you believe the sky meets the ground that curves away from you at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's measured height off surface level. Says it right in your maths. It's not the ground, not just the ground, it's surface level. Let's get it right. You need these flat earth measurements, Dr. Blitz. Without them, you've got nothing. Let's make that absolutely abundantly clear. Denial of the flat earth that you must measure leaves you with nothing to believe in. Now, you can believe you've got a physical geometric sphere edge marked with an X and labelled horizon in an orthographic mathematics we've dubbed the begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking earth curve calculations that you keep asking about. But you'll need to measure a flat earth to believe in those calculated values below surface level. Let's get that absolutely clear. You need a flat earth more than we do.
basically, Nathan, what you're saying is, without the flat earth measurements, the globe cannot exist.
Precisely. You can't have the globe only exist in the maths unless you measure Earth flat to achieve that.
So like your feet.
To the surface level, plane of reference.
No, it doesn't require a plane of reference to figure
Does it not? So when it says surface level in your stupid dumbass maths that you obviously haven't got in front of you, you're denying the surface level that your maths requires then? Denying the parallel eye level? What's it parallel with? Oh yeah, surface level. It's labelled surface level in your own maths. It seems like Dr. Blitz has taken the hard place. Oh no, we don't need a plane of reference. Why is it labelled that? Is it because you need it? Yeah, it is, yeah. You need a flat earth, Dr. Blitz, for you to believe in a ball.
Figure out how tall you are. You just need to know the distance between your feet and your head.
Oh, really? So when you're measuring height off the surface level for the calculation of 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height off the surface level, you think it's just the height between your feet and your head? Not in your dumbass maths, it's not, Dr. Blitz. No, it's your height off surface level. It's part of the calculation. 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Height off what? Middle of space? No, off surface level. It's required, you dumbass. For you to believe in a ball, you need surface level. These are facts. Facts that your ball belief is based on. Flat earth measurement facts that you're now denying. You're finding yourself in the hard place where you don't like using flat earth measurements for your calculation, aren't you, Dr. Blitz? So you want to deny them? Let's see how the flatty copes.
Why the long face?
When we measure a mountain, we measure it in respect to a plane of reference. When you measure...
You don't need to go to the mountain, Flatty. You've already won. You've already told him how you need your height for the calculations he's asking about. You were already all over this. You are completely over the target. He's responded by saying, height is just from feet to head? Really? No, the calculation, if you knew it, would be the first thing across your lips in response. No, your maths requires you measure your height off surface level. 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height off surface level, that's the observer's height in feet, requires your height off the surface level. It's part of the calculation for this ponytailed horse-looking buffoon to believe he's got an earth curve below surface level. It's labelled surface level in his own maths. But he's duped you into believing that height's just from feet to head. Not in earth curve maths, it's not. It's off the surface level.
If you was there, Nathan, you'd be kicking a dead horse by now.
Your height of eye
so
to...
the reason you do that is because you're trying to... The reason you do that is because you're trying to find distance above sea level.
Welcome to Flat Earth, Dr. Blitz. Yeah, in other words, you're going to need a sea level. That's right. Yeah, your height's measured off it. It's a universal level plane of reference, averaged from the sea, otherwise known as sea level. Yeah, that's correct. Without it, everything you believe in, not calculate, not measure, these things don't really exist beyond the maths. Without them, you've got nothing. You don't have a ball to believe in. You need sea level, as we keep saying. You guys, in this case Dr. Blitz, need a flat earth more than we do, because you're basing your entire belief on those measurements. So you can try and deny the fundamental prerequisite requirement for surface level, or in this case sea level, but you won't get very far with your maths without it. You can deny those measurements of a flat earth, but then what have you got to punch into the calculation? Oh, nothing, so you don't have a functioning calculation anymore. Oh, you still want to use sea level? Welcome to Flat Earth.
Yeah, off your high horse, Dr. Blitz.
It's not difficult to just do a little bit of reading or research, and you'll find out that sea level, which he's just mentioned, is the 0 degree baseline, on Earth for all elevation profiles, for maps, navigating, charts. That's what's used, sea level. It's level.
Don't you mean sea level? Mean sea level, sorry.
Sorry, I mean sea level, sorry, yeah.
So close, but so far, Jin.
Right. If you want to know how tall you are, you don't need to know your height above sea level.
Oh, do you not? So that would be the hard place.
And then you can stack them up next to your
That
feet.
would be the hard place then. So you don't need your height off surface level. So your calculation, that's 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. You don't need the height off surface level then. Then you've got no maths, Dr. Blitz. You found yourself very quickly in the hard place. Now, to me, it's irrelevant. This flatty's done a good enough job for me to now take the piss out of this ponytailed horse-looking mofo. Well done, Dumbo. So you don't need your height at 1.22 times the square root of it. You don't need that. Well, what are you going to calculate your Earth curve with then, you stupid idiot? That's the hard place. Again, my name is Nathan Oakley. I'm the one pointing out to this doctor that he doesn't seem to comprehend his own mathematics that he keeps calling calculations. The calculation's 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height off a flat surface level. Well, you don't need your height off surface level. Then you've got nothing. You don't have a calculation anymore. It's clear that you don't understand your own calculation that uses flat Earth measurement, Dr. Blitz, because you've just denied it. The fundamental premise that it uses. The mathematics are fact. 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height of a flat Earth. That's what you need to believe in an Earth curve, and you've just denied it. You don't need your height off surface level. Then your maths fails. You stupid clown. Well done, Dr. Blitz. Welcome to the hard place. What's that? You do use your height off surface level. Welcome to flat Earth. It's called the rock. The rock of flat Earth measurements that you'll need to believe in Earth curve. Oh, you want to deny them? Round and round we go, from rock to hard place. Denial of the flat Earth measurements and height off surface level means you've got nothing. An admission that you need to measure your height off surface level means you understand that Earth is measured flat for your belief in Earth curve. Welcome to Flat Earth, Dr. Blitz. My name's Nathan Oakley.
Sorry, Nathan, I thought you were still. I was going to say, apparently the flat earther he's debating with is a rookie, so therefore it's safe to say that Dr. Blitz was tamed by a cowboy.
Sorry, just feeling a bit hoarse.
Yeah, and which is going to give you two straight line, right? You're going to be parallel to surface level.
What? No, there's one line, right?
One line? So where in your maths it says surface level, and then above it it's got eye level, parallel with it, so you can calculate a depression angle to a point below the surface level. It's just one line. This man's an idiot. Dr. Blitz is just basically stupid, isn't he? He hasn't got the slightest idea how his own mathematics function. He's babbled on about this calculation to his opponent like he knows what he's talking about. You don't, do you, Dr. Blitz? Me, I know the calculation so much I can recite it from heart. I know it inside out and back to front. How you require a parallel eye level. Parallel with what? Surface level. It's labelled in your maths. Now, do I need him in front of me? No. I know him by heart. But you're a pretender clown, aren't you, ponytail horse-looking mofo? You haven't got a clue how your own maths work. You just said you only need one line. What, the surface level? Welcome to flat Earth. Oh, but you don't need a parallel eye level? Well, why is it labelled eye level then? In your own maths. It's because you're going to be calculating it with a depression angle from the eye level. That's how it works. That's why you need your height off the surface level for your parallel eye level, for your depression angle calculation to infer a physical geometric sphere edge marked with an X and labelled horizon in your own stupid maths that you don't understand, do you, Dr. Blitz? You're a pretender clown, a moron, a vapid fool who doesn't understand his own stupid calculations and their prerequisite requirement for flat Earth surface level and parallel eye level. That's two lines, you dumbo, you moron, you clown. How do they taste, clown? Taste of my balls. Telling you how stupid you are when you deny your own fundamental requirements for surface level and parallel eye level for you to believe you're on a ball. Idiot.
Yeah,
I feel sorry for the guy.
Mind your tongue.
So I feel sorry for the guy because he's mentioned the surface level, he's got in the height of eye, he's mentioned the parallel. He's sort of trying to get this information over what we're getting over quite well. And the guy's just cutting him off. He's not letting him finish the sentence, tell him it's one straight. He's just like, he doesn't want it to go there, does he?
Yeah, he's doing a rumpus trick. So the rumpus used to do exactly this whenever we would be onto something in the discussion. Now this guy, I'm going to give props to the guy who's talking to this Dr. Clown Shoes, because he's actually semi-comprehended a lot of what we talk about here. He's over the target. He's fully over the target. Now, he might not be as well-versed with it as us. He might not have the disdain for his opponent that I'm currently displaying, with a slight tongue-in-cheek, I'll be honest. But he's definitely over the target. He knows the arguments. Neil was suggesting that he didn't, or hadn't quite got it refined enough. But as far as I can tell so far, Neil, this guy's right over the target.
It's the needle gets lost in the needle gets lost.
I don't know where you're hearing that.
Well, he's parallel with eye level. He's saying all the right things. I mean, maybe I'm missing something.
There's
Hold
one
on.
line connecting your feet to your head.
Is your eye level in the math, right? Is your eye level in surface level parallel? Yes or no?
No, they're not.
Oh, dear. Is it just me, or does he not understand his own Earth curve mathematics then? Let's put them up on screen. Let's have a little look at them. He's just said, no, they're not. Okay, let's have a look. On screen.
We'll have to J that a couple of times.
Yeah, we'll do once I've got this screen up. Window, Earth curve maths. Here we go. What's this? What's that say? Can anybody read what I'm highlighting with my mouse?
Surface level.
What's this?
Eye level.
Hello, Dr. Blitz. You're a clown. You don't know your own mathematics. You're denying a fundamental premise that's utilised in the calculation for you to believe in a marked with an X, labelled horizon, physical geometric sphere edge below surface level. This is what you are claiming, you stupid idiot. But yet you want to deny the surface level and parallel eye level, do you, clown shoes? Well, that's not going to work out very well for you. That's going to have me, Nathan Oakley, bringing up your curve maths that absolutely unequivocally requires a flat Earth surface level and parallel eye level that you've just denied. You've just destroyed any credibility that you had in the mind's eye of your audience because you've been taken apart by me, a flat earther who does know how your idiotic calculations function with flat Earth measurements. In this case, measurements of a parallel eye level. And what's it parallel with? Surface level. And what are you going to use surface level with? Well, for your height off it. Something else you've denied. Where in this mathematics does it say that the height is just a measurement from your feet? Oh no, this little dot meets the surface level, you stupid clown. Obviously, Dr. Blitz is an idiot dropped on his head by his careless parents, or he'd understand that he's arguing for a parallel eye level and surface level. It's fundamental to the calculation that he's arguing for, and yet he's just denied a base premise that the calculation uses. What an idiot! How do they taste?
Yeah, the only thing is, Nathan, you're divining his motivation a little bit because you're assuming or saying that he doesn't know. But how do you know that he does know and he's just lying?
Are you lying, Dr. Blitz? Is the hard place and necessity for you to lie about your requirement for flat Earth prerequisite surface level and parallel eye level? Are you lying? Yeah? Or are you just stupid? Because these are the only two options that afford you at this particular point. You've just denied a fundamental premise of your own calculations that require Earth be measured flat. So which is it, Dr. Blitz? Liar or idiot? Doesn't matter to me. You still need to measure Earth flat to calculate your belief in a sphere edge horizon below the surface level, marked with an X, labelled horizon, in the begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculations on screen for my audience right now. Notice how I can manage two different panels, run a recording, a live stream, and respond to your videography, and still paraphrase off the requirement for flat Earth surface level and parallel eye level, and then bring it up like Johnny on the spot whilst live. Notice you're not doing that, you're just denying your requirement for a flat Earth there, aren't you, clown shoes? Yeah? Yeah, wait till you get a load of me. Idiot.
So he's clearly not a doctor of science, but a doctor of pseudoscience and a doctor of clown buffoonery. That's all you're getting from this guy.
Yeah, if you're a baller, you should be just seeing this guy as a disgrace because he's denied a fundamental premise that's required. It's right there on screen. It's labelled surface level. Why? Well, it's because it's part of the calculation. Without it, your calculation fails. You don't say you don't want to measure your height off surface level. Well, then don't use flat Earth measurements to calculate your belief in a ball edge. It's called the hard place, where you deny your use of flat Earth measurements. You don't want there to be a parallel eye level to the surface level. You don't want that. Okay, no worries. So the hard place it is then. No measurements will be punched into your calculation then because you don't like them. Okay? Now you haven't got any calculations to argue for. Oh, you do want to use surface level and your height measured off it that you just denied, do you? You complete buffoon. Being humiliated by me. Yeah. Yeah, you will need a flat Earth to measure to believe in your ball.
A competent herd would recognise that you've got a mental disease, so therefore they'd exile him and go on without him.
Yeah, I just think this guy should be committed. He's calling himself a doctor. Now, you need to be in the mental hospital. Yeah, not residing over it as a doctor. You're a nutcase. Or you're just stupid or a liar.
Oh, so you're measuring your height to the distance to the horizon from a curved surface?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, if that's what you think, then you're wrong.
That's what the formula...
That's what the formula shows, is it? I'm afraid not, Dumbo. Should we show you on screen what the calculation that you're denying actually shows? No, we're definitely not measuring our height from curve level. Definitely not. It won't function with a parallel eye level for a dip angle, if that was the case. You're fundamentally denying the base premise of your calculations, by the way. That's what you're doing, you complete idiot. Let's put this back on screen.
That's what you need to be corrected about.
So do you know what the formula is?
Which one comes first?
Yeah, I do. It's 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height off a flat Earth. Must be, because you won't have parallel eye level if you haven't got it. You've just denied it. You've said that the height isn't 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height off surface level. You've said it's just the height from your feet to your head, making you a moron, a fool, an idiot, a dumbass. My name's Nathan Oakley. I'm the one proving you are incompetent. Or a liar. I mean, I don't mind which. But you will need a flat Earth, the one you're denying, to believe in a ball. And I'm telling you that. Not asking, not debating, telling you. Go ahead, whoever that was.
I've been driving, so I can't keep up. But has he got to the elevation angle yet?
No.
Which comes first, the
that's when it
measurement
got
or
Do you know
the
which formula comes first?
hold on. Here's what I'm
Do you
saying.
know where
though.
the formula comes from?
Okay, which comes first, the measurement or the formula?
Historically, I don't know.
Oh, so you're just a retard.
point.
You just don't know. Why the hell are you debating this subject? You don't know what you're talking about by your own admission. Get off YouTube, you stupid horse-faced, ponytailed idiot. You don't know? I do know that you're an idiot. And I'm going to tell you that with the most disdain I can muster. You complete clown. If you don't know, don't tell other people how it works. Idiot. Just so we all
just gonna
know,
say that,
we measure Earth flat. That's how it works. The measurement comes before the calculation. Without the measurement, you've got nothing to punch into the calculator. Go ahead, one Dick.
no, just what you were saying. The guy's asking him a good question. Obviously the measurement comes first, and it's he's explained the surface level parallel to eye level. Yeah. So which is denied. Now he's asking him, don't you know the formula? Well, we've been trying to, he's gish galloping between one thing and another.
I still maintain that the guy on the flat side is doing a pretty good job in the face of a guy who's constantly rumpusing and interrupting him. He's saying which comes first, the calculation or the measurement? And he got a response, I don't know. Look at this guy's face. I mean, it said it all, slapped all over his Chevy Chase.
Looks like he's chewing hay.
I mean, he's not scrape your own eyes out of the back of your head ugly like Dave McKeegan, but he's pretty ugly. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, well, the measurement, when you're measuring the distance between the observer and the horizon.
How do you measure the distance?
He hasn't even finished his sentence. You've just admitted you're a clown and you don't know what you're talking about, but yet you feel so fit to interrupt him before he's finished his sentence. You're a wanker. Yeah? You horse-looking mofo. You're a wanker. Nothing more, nothing less. Just a wanker. Don't interrupt him. You don't know what you're talking about. He does, clearly. He's superior to you in this, but you feel you've got the right to interrupt him. Wrong. If you did, you'd know you were in the hard place of denying your flat Earth prerequisites. In the begging the question, proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator, and it's parallel eye level and surface level that you denied. Your height to calculate 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height off surface level in feet. That's your calculation you keep talking about. You don't know? Then shut up. Don't interrupt him.
Between the observer and the horizon.
You said, how do you measure it?
Yeah.
You could think, how do they?
Shout out to Tom, who says, what came first, the horse face or the ponytail?
Measure it. They take 1.2 times the square root of the, or the distance to the horizon. We measure the distance to the horizon from in respect to the observer height.
That's it.
Yeah, how do you do that?
That was a shade. That was a shade. This is where he struggled a bit because he was trying to say 1.22 times the observer's height in feet, and he can't. He lost it and he couldn't get the full sentence
he's gone off
out.
the rails. The calculation is giving you a value based on a measured height off surface level, but the 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height of in feet is the calculation to the geometric horizon. Now that will be a linear distance, but that's not measured. It's calculated based on the observer's height in feet. You're running it through the calculations and coming out with an apparent value to a point below the surface level. So no, he doesn't fully understand how the mathematics work. But up until now, he was doing really well.
I don't remember the whole thing.
Yeah, at least he's admitting it. He's saying, I don't know. Fair enough.
Why?
Well, it sounds like you're saying that that's definitely what was done first, but it seems like that you don't actually know.
Sorry, coming from you, wanker, who just admitted you don't know. Literally 30 seconds earlier, what, you think you're smug because you think he doesn't know? No, he doesn't, but he admitted that almost immediately. But neither do you. Not only do you not know, you've denied a fundamental prerequisite of the calculation. That would be surface level and your height off it. For the calculation, that's 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's not random feet to head distance. Well, if the guy's up a bleeding mountain, you're still going to put it into the calculation as 6 feet. No, it's off surface level, you dumbass. You denied it because you're a retard.
He doesn't know what he doesn't know.
Yeah, but he's being all smug with his opponent. They're both ignorant. Now, fair enough, I'll give them both slack. They both don't know. But this guy thinks he's in a position to be smug to his opponent when he's stuttering around his inability to understand the calculated distance.
I'm sure the measurement comes before the formula. You got to take a measure.
Was that you or was that them?
That was. I said he's on his high horse.
Yeah, get off your high horse, ponytail. Be joyful. Is that patient? And I can't read that. I mean, I can't read at the best of times, Chow Yun Cat, and you've linked all the words together. So someone else read that chat out for me. What does Chow Yun Cat say in that chat? I got be joyful in hope. Patient. I can't read that. That's the second attempt. I'm going to give up.
Patience in affliction, faithful in prayer.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm so glad you actually managed to read it. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, it stopped playing. This might be an opportune moment to round out as the video's frozen.
Oh!
It's frozen. Literally, what do you want me to do? It's frozen.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
No, it
Well,
doesn't
trying
want
to
to
get
play.
it for the pre-show. After show.
Just see if I can make it work again. No, it literally has. It's completely hung.
Neil really wants to see the elevation angle argument play out.
Yes.
I don't know what to say. It's not working. It's not even letting me
Can
refresh
you
it.
refresh it?
I've tried. It's not even letting me refresh it. The whole page is completely hung. It is actually on the hour mark, or well past the hour, about an hour and 5 minutes into the live stream anyway. I do need to round out. I do have
Must be
bills
a
to
sign.
pay. I've got to flog microphones. This guy will get a bazillion views off this video. He's got a similar number of subscribers to me, but I can almost guarantee that he'll get a bazillion number of subscribers out of it and views out of it and monetization out of it, where I'll struggle to make 1,000 views on this live stream. So subsequently, I do actually have other things that I will require to do to keep the lights on, which is flog microphones, and I've got a whole bunch of them arriving. So you can make your comments. I'm going to round out shortly, but unfortunately this video has hung, and I can't seem to refresh it.
While you get the transcript up, we'll go through that and take it from there. We'll imagine what he's going to say.
Hope everything else isn't going to hang up. Okay, well, let's see if I can actually round out. Hopefully I can. Literally a lot of this. Oh, there we go.
Alberoni, to give you the height of the mountain, he first measured the earth flat. To give you well, for him to give you the drop, for him to give you the
Okay, so I kind of want to give him props, but he's non sequitur away from where they were arguing about the calculation at 1.22 times the square root of the measured height off surface level. Now he's on to Alberoni. That's a non sequitur fallacy, because we're not measuring any mountains. We're measuring the, according to the globe proponent at least, distance to geometric horizon based on a flat earth value off surface level in feet. Now, his opponent, that's the flat earther's opponent, has said that the height isn't off surface level. He's wrong. He's also conceded that he doesn't know, and then got all smug when the flat earther seems to not know how the linear distance measurement is calculated based on the height off surface level and parallel eye level, also denied by the glober. But now we're on Alberoni.
Yeah,
That's a non
because he's
sequitur.
trying to prove Earth is measured flat, so he's going to Alberoni because he watches this show, but he can't quite put it all together like you do.
Yeah, I've got you, Neil. Now at this point, I can see why you're saying that, and it does make sense. But even still, right, I want to give the guy props. To do what he's doing does take effort, and there's a lot of pressure on you to, as Neil put it, string it all together in a coherent way. Now, it might seem easy when I'm doing it, but I've been doing it a long time, alongside a lot of other smart people who have been training me essentially how to do it. Well, this guy isn't. He's watched a few of the shows. I still want to give him mad props, because with people like him out there at least attempting to punt the arguments, they're just statements of fact, then other people will hear this, and hopefully for a few people the penny will drop as a result of this gentleman. So where in the past I've given people props on both sides, not just on the flat earth side, I want to give this guy props. Yeah, Neil's right, he hasn't quite put it all together, but not quite putting it all together meant that he was over the target for 90% of what we've watched so far, and that does deserve props. Would you not agree, Neil?
Absolutely, yeah, of course.
Making things unnecessarily difficult, Tax. Giant Cat's giving me a super chat because I couldn't read the last one. I love it. I'm going to give that a heart. Brilliant. Thank you so much for the super chat, Giant Cat.
That's one of the first things that popped into my mind when I watched this video earlier, a little bit of it. It was, I was giving the guy props. He's not quite there with it, but he's got the argument. But also, like you've just said, Nathan, and it's funny this because, all right, he's going to Alberoni, but you don't need to do that. You could just stick with their Earth curve calculator and stay there all day. And you're going to get to a point where the guy's going to be telling you level is curved, probably. And you'll get into that. But you don't have to move from that. And that's one of their globe proofs, apparently, the Earth curve calculator. Alberoni is one of their globe proofs, and we can use that and show them how it's nothing to do with Earth curve measurements. So it's very funny and strange how all their apparent Earth curve proofs have got nothing to do with measuring curvature.
Yes, they're all requiring a flat Earth be measured. But what this guy did achieve was the forcing the globe proponent to deny his own measurements. What he did, very effectively, I might add, was put the globe proponent into what I call the hard place. And again, I'll give him mad props. Now, he didn't identify it in the moment in the discussion, but I have, after the fact, and everyone on my panel can identify it really easily. But for the fact that the flatty took him there, he wouldn't have got this globe proponent, horse-looking mofo, to deny his own fundamental requirement for surface level and parallel eye level. 1 line, 2 lines, no lines, heights only from your feet to your head. These are all denials of the prerequisite flat Earth measurements needed to suggest you've got a physical geometric sphere edge below the surface level. He took him to the hard place. That's not an easy thing to do. So he does definitely deserve mad props. I don't know what your name is, my friend, but from me to you, props. You've done exceptionally well, in my humble opinion. All right, any more for any more? Or is that it, Neil? Was there something specific you wanted to hear after that?
Didn't Al-Biruni
That's fine. I just wanted to get to the elevation angle.
Thanks, guys.
But that's
was a
fine.
globe?
Okay, we talk about what he measured. Okay, what did Al-Biruni measure before he
Yeah,
went on top of the
he
mountain?
measured the circumference of the Earth. Sorry,
okay,
he estimated the circumference of the Earth. I'm sorry.
I don't think he measured the circumference of the Earth, pal, because we haven't got a circumference of the Earth. I think he was measuring elevation angles. Maybe the circumference was calculated after the flat Earth measurements, but he definitely didn't measure any circumference of a globe.
What's this flat Earth is dead? If flat Earth is dead, why is he debating it? There'd be no need to debate anything if this statement at the top of his screen was true. Think it's flat. No, I know it's flat. Your measurements of the surface level prove it's flat. Now, it's flat for everyone. It's definitely not dead. It's not something that was ever alive. It's just an aspect of the reality that we are faced with when measuring Earth. So to suggest that it's dead is not only reification, it's anthropomorphization. It's suggesting that it's something that can die. Earth will and can only be measured flat for everyone, always and without exception. You, ponytailed mofo, you're no exception. You require Earth be measured flat. And when it comes to somebody like the guy who you're opposing, pointing that out to you, all you do is deny fundamental aspects of your own mathematics that you need to believe you're on a ball. But with that, I'm going to say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Programming Streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So another massive thank you to all of you who liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, hit me up on PayPal and Patreon and all that good stuff. Please do let Dr. Blitz know that Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment in his chat stream, so he's hopefully going to respond in kind and put a link to my video if he were to make a response. Once again, another massive thank you to today's Discord and G+ panels. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.